Welcome back to the one and only podcast, the podcast that brings you closer to the movers and shakers of the agricultural world. Welcome back, Glyn Lucas. It's May.
May, yeah. And it's going really well. We're recording on the 8th of May.
We are, yes.
Do you know what significance that has?
I'm assuming you're going to say it's to do with the Union Jack flags that you brought in this morning.
It's Victory in Europe Day, a very significant and poignant time in history. This is our 80th anniversary when we defeated the Nazis in Germany and Europe was free. And one of the things about Victory in Europe Day that really stands with me was during COVID, our kids were doing some projects in school, and one of them was about the end of the war. And they said, do we know anybody that was alive in VE Day? And their great aunt was.
Ah.
So we did a recording with Miriam. She passed away last year, but she was 19 years old.
Wow.
She lived in Northern Ireland, and she said it was an amazing day because they no longer lived in fear of being bombed. So, and I never actually realised that they lived in fear of that. So I think it's nice to remember it.
Absolutely.
And,
I think history's important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it gets forgotten about if you don't mark these occasions.
Especially now that it's 80 years ago and all of those people that took part in it are no longer here. So
absolutely. Yeah. It's also our third birthday.
Oh,
Jesus.
My goodness. I thought we're back in the war. I thought we were back in the war. Victory in Europe Day is only, wow.
Three years.
3 years for the one and only.
I know, isn't that exciting?
That was like the snooker, wasn't it? I'm glad I'm not a nervous person, but I wasn't expecting that at all. Well done, guys.
You didn't even jump.
But I was born in Belfast. I'll show you a proper explosion sometime.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 years since we started this podcast. It still amazes me that people actually listen to it. Do you know that? It blows my mind that people actually listen to it.
And more people, huh?
I know.
Must be the guests we're getting.
Must be the guests. Must be the content. It's definitely not us.
No.
Yeah. Anything else that's happened to you in the last month since we've sat down and had a chat?
Though there probably has been. It seems to just fly in, but anything fun? The weather's been just amazing. I know we keep saying it. It's just been really nice.
Oh, but we could do a day's rain, couldn't we?
Stop it.
We could do a day's rain.
This is we'll pay for it later in the year. No, it's been good. It's been obviously busy with an H&H sales and record sales. We seem to be. It's not boring breaking records, but the way the trade and the values are happening and the turnovers, we seem to be doing it on a weekly basis now, which is
pretty crazy, isn't it?
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But it's a good time to be in the business.
Yeah.
And we should enjoy it.
Exactly.
Absolutely enjoy it.
Make hay while the sun shines, if you will.
Yeah. No, it's good because there's been times when we've been selling and it's been going the other way and it's not as much fun.
No.
Definitely not.
No. Anyway, we better get down to our guest. So today we have an international guest. He's not the first Australian to be on the podcast. I apologise.
Is that right?
No?
Who was that?
We had your Australian judges on.
Oh, that's right. Apologies, Daniel.
Daniel Bacon and...
Brown Swiss breeder.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, Glyn.
You picked him.
Oh, the last time I couldn't remember
Daniel's name. I know.
No, that's right.
Anyway, we'll get that name at the end. Anyway, he's not the first Australian to be on here, but I am delighted to introduce you to Jack Harper, who is currently an intern with Harrison and Hetherington. As an intern auctioneer, he joined us in March and is going to be with us till the end of the year. Welcome to the one and only Jack.
Thank you, Laura.
How are we?
I'm well, thank you. I'm very much enjoying this warm weather. It's much like home, so I side with Glyn. We can hold the rain off for a little bit longer and enjoy these sunny days, I think.
You know that this is as good as it gets in this country, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just not subscribing to the notion that we're going to pay for this later in the year. I'm going to be an optimist and hope for a fair bit of summertime as well.
Yeah,
Nice.
let's hope for it.
Absolutely. So tell us, who is Jack Harper?
Yeah, so I'm Jack Harper, and I'm a stock and station agent in the central west of New South Wales in a little town called Cowra. And I've decided to pack my life into a backpack for a year and travel the world. And in doing so, I found a job with H&H. And I thought if I'm going to travel, it'd be nice to keep my leg in the door with the industry. And when I do eventually return home, be able to hopefully just slot back in and not have had 18 months off with no experience.
Tell us a little bit about before you arrived in the UK, Jack. Tell us a little bit about what your job looked like on a weekly, monthly basis.
Yeah, so on a day-to-day basis back home, we have a prime cattle sale on a Tuesday and a prime lamb sale on a Wednesday, and then a monthly store sale on the second Friday of the month. And when you're not at the sale, you spend your days driving around and visiting your clients, drafting stock, organising trucks. We send a little bit of stock direct to the works, so there's a fair bit of work involved with that as well. Just, again, organising your trucks and finding the right home for the stock you've got.
So Cowra is slightly in the northern part of.
We're central west, so we're basically like just south of the middle.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And what does that look like? What's the farms like? Is it
most of our clients run very mixed operations.
Yeah.
They run a good amount of ewes, a handful of cows, and do a little bit of cropping as well. Yeah. So they really spread themselves pretty well, and there's always a positive in at least one of the commodities usually.
Would you say like a good amount of ewes and a few cattle? What sort of numbers are we talking here?
I would say the majority of our clients would sort of run between 1,000 and 5,000 ewes. A few will run a fair few more, but our bread and butter clients sort of float around that 1 to 5,000.
Yeah. That's big operations.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah, but they run big farms as well. Like there's plenty of people with over 1,000 acres, and they run. Where we are is a very fertile little spot. We're in a good little food bowl. It's certainly not the biggest area, and we don't run the biggest amount of stock, and we don't sell the most amount of stock, but what we do sell is very good.
Now, I hope we get into a little bit about the main differences you see in the job, but one of them has to be, I think, I don't know a lot about sheep, but you'll have seen how many hundreds of breeds we have. Not hundreds, but we have a lot of different
Just
breeds.
about.
But you'll be mainly dealing with one or two breeds?
Yeah, mostly we can sort of count the breeds on one hand that we sell through our sale yards in Cowra. So most of our clients will run a first cross ewe, which is a border Leicester over a merino, and then join that back to a Poll Dorset or a White Suffolk. We still do have a few clients that'll run some merinos and breed first cross ewes or breed a terminal with a Dorset over the merino, but that's about it. We get the odd little hobby farmer with a Dorper or something, an Aussie White, but generally not in big numbers.
So the consistency in the product that you're dealing with, the animals you're dealing with,
very consistent.
Is very, very consistent.
Yeah, very much so. Unlike here, I've had to learn, as you say, hundreds of different breeds, and with each breed comes a different characteristic on how it's going to die, how well it fattens, whereas back home, there's not a whole lot of difference as far as the breed. It's more so what they've been fed and their breeding behind it, the genetics, more than the actual breed itself.
I know you're only here a couple of months. Why do you think there's such a difference here? Why do you think there's so many different breeds?
I think it's just because of how different the landscape is. Yeah. You don't have to go far, and you can run into completely different countryside than what you've just come from. Like you go half an hour from here and you end up in the Scottish borders, or you go south and you end up in the North Pennies, and it's very different country to around here where, say, it's a little bit flatter before you hit the hills.
And different
breeds for different climates for different operations.
Whereas in that area you are, it'll be very consistent weather.
Very much consistent. So we're in a valley.
Yeah.
You don't have to go too far. You go sort of 45 minutes east and you end up in some pretty cold country in the hills. But where we do most of our work is pretty flat river country.
And it's like mainly livestock, or is there other farming activity there?
Mostly livestock. Like there is a few dairies around.
Wine? Any wineries?
A few wineries, but they're becoming few and far between.
Oh, really?
The grapes haven't been worth as much the last few years, so there's a few places that have ripped a lot of vineyards out.
Well,
yep. There's a few veggie farms, the odd potato farm. There's a variety, but mostly livestock.
Where's your nearest like large city? If you said it's a little town that you kind of guys are based in.
So we're in a very central area. We're 2 hours to Canberra, 4 hours to Sydney, and then there's some bigger centres around us. Like it's an hour to Bathurst, Orange, 2 hours to Dubbo and Wagga. So we are in a good spot. We're not a tiny village by any means, but you do need to have the big centres around you to really do any major shopping.
Nice.
And then with regards to the product, the lamb that you're marketing and selling, is that have you got processing plants close by the markets?
Yeah, we have a domestic works in town, which is very convenient from the sale yards. It's a 200-metre walk for the lambs. So any stock that the local works buy out of the yards, they literally get run straight up to the works straight after the sale. And then there is a few major exporters within a truck drive. Like we send a lot of lambs to Tamworth and to Melbourne and to Junee, and they're all within sort of 4 to 6 hours on the truck. So, yeah.
And your export market you mentioned, where's your main export market for lamb?
We export all of our heavy lambs, and a lot go to China and to the US. And I've noticed a fair bit over here as well.
Yeah,
in the British supermarkets.
Excellent.
Which was a bit of a shock.
Really? Is it a shock to you that you didn't realise that?
I didn't expect to see a whole lot of Australian lamb in the British supermarkets, that's for sure.
It's a bit of a funny subject, really, because British farmers obviously feel that it's not necessary in our country because of the amount of lambs that we produce ourselves. But I imagine it's probably driven. Yeah, but I imagine it's probably driven by demand, like a lot of things, and a consistent product. So I guess what the customer wants, the customer gets.
The customer gets.
Yeah.
Probably more the price factor that surprised me than anything.
I think the way I look at it too, I know people get a little bit excited about it, but a lot of our lamb recently has been at a certain price, which actually is kind of off-putting for some people on the price. So some of the imported lamb is at a lower price and can be, cheaper, so people can use it. So, and then I think if people get the taste for it,
then they might start to pay a little bit of a premium for the local stuff.
So that's the way I look at it. So it could be a win-win, really.
Yeah.
So you arrived in Europe. You did a month in Spain, did you?
Yeah, I spent a month in Spain and Portugal before I came to the UK. That was February, yeah. So I left home in the first or second weekend of February and spent a month travelling around, which was nice. I didn't want to go from a hot summer back home into a British winter, so I thought to acclimatise, I'll spend a month in the Mediterranean.
Good decision.
What did you do? Did you just travel about?
Just travelled around, yep, which was really nice, actually. It was sort of nice to have a holiday. Mm-hmm. You never really get a holiday in this job. So it was nice to hand over my clients back to the other boys at work and just know that there was no responsibility for once, which sounds terrible, but it is nice to have a holiday. I wanted a break before I came straight back into work.
Yeah, yeah. Have you got any plans whilst you're here to travel?
Yeah, I would like to travel a bit of Europe while I'm here, a few weekend trips, and hopefully have a few mates from back home come over, but that's proving harder than I thought it would be, as it always is.
It's we're totally spoiled, aren't we here?
Yeah.
We don't realise, if we're so close to Europe, we can go to France for a day basically and be back.
You catch the train from London and you're there in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Europe is such a small bit on the map.
Yeah.
And all the different cultures and all the different cuisines. It's amazing.
It is. I always say to people, like, if I decided I wanted to go home right now, I wouldn't be home for 48 hours. And that would be like get to Heathrow, get on the next plane out, have a stopover, get back to Sydney and then go home. It'll be every bit of 40 hours.
Yeah.
More.
Whereas you could pop to Madrid for supper tonight.
And be back tomorrow for work.
Yeah, we could. Yeah. Maybe we should.
Well, why not?
So
we knock off early.
Go to Madrid.
That's the nice thing about Europe. It's a small,
which is certainly a big draw card to come to the UK, just to be able to use the Northern Hemisphere to my advantage.
And you've already had one trip. You've been to the greatest country in the world last weekend.
Been over to your homeland, Glyn.
Yeah.
Over to the JLEX sale.
Yeah. Do you enjoy that?
It was good. Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Unbelievable. The cattle are unbelievable, and It blew me away that the sale didn't start until after 7 o'clock, but apparently that's normal over there.
Did it actually start
When was
on
it?
time?
When,
It did.
When was it
It
advertised
did.
for? By the way.
Well, it depended which part of the catalogue you looked at. On the front page, it said 6:30, and then when you opened it, it said 7. So maybe 6:30 was just to get everyone in.
Yeah.
Because they never start on time over there.
Not.
It's a guide.
Yeah,
It's a guide.
Yeah, it's not so much a
they're
sale
quite
time, which
relaxed.
I've noticed a little bit over here. The sale start time is not really the start time.
The
It's
one
a
thing
guide.
I've noticed about the Irish, though, Christmas Day is still the 25th of December. So they're never late.
No, that's right.
But no, that was good. And you got this, you were only there for 24 hours, but
It was a very, very quick jaunt.
you'll have to do another trip to Ireland.
Absolutely, I do plan on it. It was
We've got
quite
quite a
nice
few
over there.
sales. We've got quite a few sales in Ireland this year.
And it was half an hour on the plane.
Yeah,
Took longer to get to Glasgow than it did in
I
the
know.
plane.
Yeah, it does. It does.
it's like a catapult, but you just kind of go.
Pretty well. You never actually level out.
No.
You go up and then you come down.
Yeah.
The drink cart came around, and by the time they got halfway down the plane, they had to.
Turn back.
Yeah, pretty well.
Yeah. So you arrived in March. What was the sort of first jobs you've done?
Well, in my first week was Dairy Expo.
Oh wow, that was an
Yeah.
initiation.
Yeah, that was trial by fire on the
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday. But since then, it's been good. I've been out with a fair few of the boys on some on-farm visits. I've just about visited every H&H Mart so far, which has been good. It's nice to see the different
Have you still got one to tick off the list?
Lazenby.
That doesn't start till July, though, does
Yeah, I
it?
know. So
You'll enjoy that.
I've
though.
ticked the rest off. Yes, Joe's already teed me up for Lazenby for the sales down there. So I'm
Good.
sure I'll be there.
It's a
at
great
some
little
point.
market.
Yeah. And you're obviously getting to get familiar with values of the different stock.
I certainly
the
have
quality
now.
of the different stock.
Yeah, it was daunting to start with, basically just because of the multiple breeds. But once I sort of got my head around that, I've started to follow the market a little bit better.
Yeah. No, I can really see you're fitting in with with our team. It's a great team of guys.
It is a great team.
Lots of
It's
different characters
certainly
in our team.
been made easy to slot in. Like
Yeah.
everyone's been very friendly, bent over backwards to make me feel at home, which is nice.
Yeah.
Lovely. What's your role at home, though, before we sort of break into...
Very similar. So we call ourselves stock and station agents as opposed to auctioneers. Like the auctioneering is probably only a marginal part of the job.
Stock and station agent. That's cool.
Yeah, which is good. So really, we're only a very small team. There's only 4 of us back home. So yeah, we're all out valuing the stock, drafting the stock. So really, you get your own little client base to look after, and that's your main focus.
What's the company called that you work for?
Alan Gray and Co.
Alan Gray and Co.
Yep.
Do you think they'll be listening?
Maybe, I hope so. If so, hello Bill and Rory and Patrick and Daniel.
Oh, is that the team?
That's the team. Yep.
Cool.
So, very family orientated business, which is nice.
And then do you have like an office team that
Yep,
keep everything in
just
check?
Marg in the office during the week, and then Haley on a Friday. So it's a very small team, but a very good team.
Hi, I'm David. I'm the Head of Agriculture for H&H Insurance Brokers. We are a successful business rooted in Cumbria. We've looked after farmers in the north of England and the south of Scotland for almost 40 years. So every day we work with farm and rural businesses just like yours, who in turn are working hard to produce the food required for our tables. We act as a trusted advisor to our clients in the same way that you would turn to a solicitor or an accountant to give you good, quality, expert advice. We always take the time to get to know you and your business, allowing us to have an in-depth understanding of what you need to plan for the future and to provide the best advice possible. Our team of experienced account executives use their knowledge of the insurance industry to advise you on any potential threats and risks. As an independent broker, we have access to a wide range of insurance providers, which enables us to find the right product for you at a competitive price. You can always be assured that you will receive a personal and first-class service. In fact, you could say we are the exact opposite of a faceless call centre. Insurance is about more than just planning for future events. It is about having the peace of mind that your business is protected when something goes wrong, which means you can focus on the things that matter the most. We're here to do just that. So next time your insurance renewals are due for your farm or your business, please give us a call and we can see what we can do for you. We'll meet up and have a chat. Call us on 01228 406 290.
Finance for Farms, we're specialists within the agricultural sector.
The whole leasing of cattle's strange. A lot of people haven't heard of it before and they wonder how it works, but it's really straightforward.
Find a batch of cows I want to buy or do a deal on, I can phone them up and say, what's the chances of doing a deal on these batch of animals? And they'll say yes or no.
Anything that I've asked, or requested and spoken to Shire about has been dealt in a, quickly in a professional manner, and it's either a yes or a no.
What makes Finance for Farms different to mainstream funders and banks is speed and efficiency. A farmer can call us today, say he's looking to go to market tomorrow, and the finance will be in place for him to go the following day and purchase the animals he requires.
To learn more about the finance solutions available to support your farm's growth, call the Finance for Farms team on 01827 300 333 or head over to their website on www.financeforfarms.co.uk.
So explain to the listeners a little bit, Jack, the difference. So you guys are the agents, but the actual stockyards, you use different stockyards?
Yeah, so we all sell out of one centre. So in Cowra, there's 4 agencies that sell out of the centre. And at CTLX, at Carcoar, where we sell our cattle, there's 12 of us.
Yeah.
So
12 different agencies.
12 different agencies, yes, from Orange, Bathurst, and Cowra mainly.
So that would be, for example, Borderway is is a premises.
Yeah, as the sale yards.
And the agents would be from Longtown, Dumfries,
all selling in the one centre.
And they would bring all their stock.
Yeah.
And so how do you think that would work in a UK setting? You've started to probably get a feel for the traditions here, yes, and the certain loyalties that people have to certain different centres. How did you think that could ever happen in this country?
I don't think it'd quite work as well, probably just because of the scale that it'd have to be. There's probably not enough room, really, even at Borderway, which is huge, to have even 3 or 4 agencies. You'd never have the penning space.
Yeah,
really.
How if you're a customer though, if you're a farmer, do you just pick your agent and you just stick with them, or
Generally,
how does it work?
Yeah, there is a lot of loyalty, and there's a lot of good clients that will stick with you through thick and thin. So once you've and it's all trust and loyalty really. Once you build up enough trust with your clients, they will stick with you.
So nobody just brings their sheep down and decides he was going to sell them with you, but I'm going to sell them with him instead.
Not often. I have seen it happen, but
but I suppose if you guys are doing all the drafting,
well, we do.
And sorting,
that's right.
So you've put a lot of work.
So you've already set it up before they
That's
arrive.
right. You know exactly what's coming. Like, for example, for a Wednesday sheep sale, on a Tuesday night, we'll do a sale card up and I'll have all our vendors written out, how many they've got. And then on a Wednesday morning, the auctioneer selling that day will pen their lambs, how they want them sold. So we've sort of done all the work. A lot of the work's done before they get to the yards, really.
So the stockyards then, do you pay a headage basis for the use of the premises?
Well, our sale yards at Cowra are council owned. Okay. So we have a spot there, and we're all part of an association,
like a cooperative.
We just have a little association where we have a president from one of the agencies each year, and it's more so just to keep the sale yards in check more than anything, to make sure we still have our voice.
Yeah.
And then our clients will pay just a yard due. I think it's a couple of bucks a head. And
the council then they
do all the work. They do all the cleaning and the maintenance and the mowing and the spraying. So
and each different agency cashes the sale.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it all gets processed through the centre at the yards, and then once the sale's closed, it gets sent out to the respective agents, and we do all the paperwork from there on. Send the invoices out to the buyers and the. Yeah.
I suppose that seems a really good way to do it. But I think all the different traditions we have here, it would be difficult to build a massive centre in the.
I think so. The centre would have to be huge too.
Yeah.
Is it inside or outside?
Outside.
Outside, yeah. So it's like, because
it would be nice to get a few shade cloths over the yards from time to time. It can be a hot, draining day over there in the middle of summer when it's 35 degrees and 95% humidity. It can be a long day.
We invest so much into infrastructure here because we just don't have that ability to do things outside.
Too wet and too cold.
Yeah,
exactly.
Often.
Too wet.
Our cattle yards are under a shed up at Carcoar, but it's probably closer to the climate here than it is to the climate where I'm from, we get a little bit of snow there in the wintertime and a fair bit of rain up there. So you sort of need the shed up there.
So do you have a water problem where you're from? Because I remember the last conversation we had with the Australians on here, their biggest challenge was water.
We're probably very lucky. We've got a big reservoir, a big irrigation dam on our river, and where we are is on a few rivers as well. So there's always a fair bit of water. But at the moment it is very dry. So it's more so a water issue from the sky than a water issue from the ground.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. What attracted you to this lifestyle that you found yourself into, stock agent / auctioneer? How did you get into this?
Well, it was all luck, really. So my boss, Rory, was our under-18s rugby league coach.
Okay.
And I started doing a bit of work with them on the farm just to help out. And then I started to do a few Monday nights at Carcoar penning cattle. And then I started to do a few Wednesdays helping out at the sheep sale. And I got to the end of school and he sort of sat me down and said, oh, well, I didn't really have a job for you, but if you want to finish school and go and have a few weeks off and then come and start in the January. So it was pure luck, really. A lot of people don't find themselves in these jobs that easily.
Okay. And the rest is history. And now we're
Pretty well. And here we are. On the other side of the world.
And is your family farmers?
No. So we come from town. Yeah. So really had no real ties to the agriculture world, besides from a few mates that I'd spend weekends with and doing a bit of work on people's farms for a bit of cash, really.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
But always loved it. Always loved working with stock when I got the opportunity to, and it's always nice to be out and about.
What is the what's the exchange rate just now? Like what's the price difference here?
$1 is worth 48 pence.
Oh, so it's nearly.
It's terrible.
Yeah, that isn't good, is it?
And with regards to, you've got a feel now for how British farmers are doing, and you also obviously how Australian farmers are. Both agricultural economies, do you feel are doing well?
Yeah, I think so.
farmers
Particularly over here with the cattle market at the moment, it's unbelievable. It's almost got shades of a few years ago back home when it got extremely dear. Don't get me wrong, the job back home is very good at the moment. The lamb job's plodding along really well. And much like over here, mutton is expensive. And the cattle job's in a spot that is sustainable. It's not too dear. It's not too cheap. It's poking along pretty well, which is, I don't think that's a bad thing. Sustainability in the market's probably better than
Absolutely.
either way.
A bit of stability goes a long way as opposed to fluctuations.
Which I will be interested to see how the British cattle market goes in the next 6 months. Whether it holds where it is or gets dearer.
It's always difficult to predict, but if you just if you look at the numbers coming forward, I would suggest it'll remain where it is.
I think so. I think the thing over here is it's just not the number of cattle that there needs to be. The suckle herds are diminishing, so there's no cattle there really.
Yeah,
there is just a more concerned effort, a focused effort on the dairy industry here.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's a more concerted effort on the use of sex semen and things like that, so you can account for the number of beef animals that you can get from dairy
that's
here.
Right. Yeah,
which is good.
What have you learnt since you've come here?
Since I've come here, well, a few things. It is good. It's nice to tag along with a few of the different boys and just sort of shadow them and see how they deal with each of their clients. And every client's a little bit different, and so is every agent. So it's nice to sort of see how everyone works with their different clients. That's for sure. It's good to see some different auctioneers as well. I think that'll be a good thing when I do return home. It's nice to see something different.
So you think you'll be hopefully be able to take home a lot of experiences?
Yeah,
and
I would like to hope so.
Yeah, and likewise, I think we hope that you bring some. I want you to suggest some things that we change, a little bit like the way you sell the sheep. I don't know if we could.
I don't know if that'd work here either.
I know, but it would be nice just to if we could maybe pick up some things that you do that would make a difference here.
Just seems it's very traditional here. Everyone wants to, and fair play to them. Like everyone wants to show off their stock and be proud of it, which I think is a great idea.
I think that's at the crux of selling in the ring. Is that
that's what it is.
And that's fantastic. It's
Even on Monday, Laura, when we had the show of the ewes and lambs and the spring lambs, everyone wants to get involved. Like, we remarked how many people were standing out the back there on Monday morning. There was more people than sheep.
There was a lot of people about, and a lot of young people as well, wasn't there? Which nice.
Is good. I think that's a great thing. Like, the more younger people we can get into and keep in the industry, the better it'll be.
Being proud of what you're producing and showing it off to your neighbours.
Absolutely.
And that's a very important part.
It's a very big part of the sale yards over here, I've found.
Is there a section of livestock, a category that we sort of sell that you've enjoyed learning more about? Or is there a section that you...
Well, I know we've only had the first one so far, but the pedigree days, I'm really looking forward to. We do a few ram sales back home, but we don't do any bull sales. So I had a great day on Saturday calling all the bids for all the Limers and bulls, particularly the 45,000 guineas bull. That was nerve-wracking, but a lot of fun.
Did you call that one?
Yeah, I had most of the bids the whole time. I had two people in the tic tac, and I thought I better not stuff this up, because that could be a costly losses form. I might get shipped back to Australia on the first plane out
straight away.
Yeah.
Were you giving it loads on the?
I was.
Yeah. Well done.
It was a lot of fun.
We'll have to get Jack on next Saturday on the Auckland Salad sale.
Oh yeah, do you conduct any dairy sales in your station?
We don't.
Oh,
you're gonna be one of the bid spotters next Saturday.
That'll be good.
If you're not on traveling,
that'll be good.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
sounds good.
Is that at Borderway?
Yes.
Oh, that'll be good.
We're going to set up a nice marquee inside the show.
It's very fancy. It's an elite one.
It sounds a little bit flash. No, it is good. I do like, because you sort of miss with the sales over here, all the bid spotting, being outside back home and walking along the gantry, selling the cattle and the sheep. You really rely on your bid spotters as an auctioneer. You've got to have a good book person and some good spotters with you to really get the sale going. So it was nice to be out there doing a few bids.
And we're ready to do it all again tomorrow and Saturday.
Tomorrow and Saturday. So
yeah, of all varieties of breeds.
That'll be good. Yeah, I think we've got, what have we got, 5? 6?
Yeah, Simmentals, Blues, Charlies, Blondes, Solers. Oh, Angus.
Yeah, 7.
6.
That'll be good. I look forward to that, that's for sure.
Do you have a preferred breed?
Not necessarily.
You're not a native man, or are you like
back home there is a lot of Angus cattle. So a lot of the work we do with is black cattle, particularly Angus. But I do like a Simmental and a Hereford and a little bit of hybrid vigor. So it'll be nice to sort of see a bit of everything sold, and hopefully they all sell well. Really, with the way the beef job is, and how we started with the Limers and sale, it'd be great to see it flow on.
Yeah, I think it will be.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Aussie rules or rugby?
Rugby league.
Rugby league in your area?
Yeah, where we are is a big rugby league area. You go a little bit further south and it's all Aussie rules, but a lot of rugby league around us.
Did you play any sport in school?
Yeah, played rugby league all through high school and all even last year really. So if anyone's looking for an Australian second rower or a centre,
we'll have to get
by all means reach out.
Did you mention that to Scott?
Yeah, Scott's been trying to get me into the Tynedale rugby side.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going there for the social sevens comp. So which will be good fun.
That'll be good.
Sure, that will be good.
Which will be good. So, but yeah, I love my rugby league back home.
Yeah.
It's good to be part of a team sport, and it's a good break away from work as well.
Yeah, it's important to have some time away as well. I know you're trying to cram up in as much as you can when you're over here, but it's nice to see things outside of
absolutely
H&H.
Yeah, which has sort of been nice too. Living in town, you do get a break, which is nice. Like when there's no sales or anything on the weekend, you can sort of just clock off and get to have a bit of a look around.
Yeah. Have you been down into the Lake District yet?
I have. I went down to Keswick on Sunday.
Nice.
Went for a bit of a look around there, walked up one of the mountains, and it was beautiful. It was quite a nice day too. Really, so I got up and the sun was out. I thought, I can't waste this day. No. I don't know how many of these I'm going to get. So
no, I'm glad you're doing that because it is beautiful down there.
It's good. I've had the opportunity to have a good look about. So I took myself up to the Scottish Highlands on the Easter long weekend. Drove around up there, and even just day to day with work, you get to drive around and see something different through the southwest of Scotland and through the borders. So yeah, I do love that.
Scottish borders is lovely.
It is beautiful.
Yeah. I'm a bit biased, but it's nice.
That's okay. Everyone's a little bit biased.
That's where I'm from.
In some way.
I love it all. We're very privileged where we work.
And everything's so close.
Yeah.
You don't have to go far and the scenery's changed,
Mm-hmm.
which I love.
Have you been up to Edinburgh yet?
Not this time. I have been to Edinburgh before,
Mm-hmm.
but I actually had a cousin ring this morning and they're flying into London tomorrow. So I could be going to Edinburgh next week for some dinner with them, which would be nice.
That'd be really nice. You
Yeah,
can jump on the train?
Yeah, jump on the train and pop up there for the afternoon, so it'll be good.
Very nice. Very nice.
So we'll have to have you back here, Jack, at the end of your adventure in the United Kingdom.
That'll be good to see how it all went.
So when are you leaving?
The plan is to be here until the end of the year, so get to see all the back end sales and all the shows, and then I suppose get to experience a little bit of winter. Going to come this far, I might as well.
I would tap out before that happens.
No, don't do that.
go back home to the sunshine.
I want to get Jack in my curling team.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
When does curling start?
Curling starts October.
Oh, well, I'll still be here by then,
Do a bit of curling.
Yeah.
unless I get kicked away by then. But
Have you ever curled before?
no, I've never curled before.
We'll have to get you involved in that. Rory curled as well.
Rory plays too.
Rory's a curler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just sounds, the more you say
sounds a bit-
curler, it just sounds so weird.
That's just the language barrier.
Yeah.
No, even I'm finding it strange now that I keep saying that word.
Just one of those words you just don't want to say.
A
too
curler.
A curler.
What? Who do you play for again? What's the team?
The Aspatria.
Spectra. Because it's
And-
teams like it's serious. It's a league.
much. Well, a bit like the now the game's completely slipped my mind. That Scott and Jack Donaldson.
Oh,
Coits.
Coits. Have you played Coits yet?
I had a little go at Coits when I was living at Holt Whistle in the pub, but I've not yet been back.
We're meant to have a Coits evening.
We are. Scott keeps saying that he's going to organise a social for
Of course
it.
he does. He loves it.
He loves. Oh yeah, he loves it. Yeah.
We actually last weekend or 2 weekends ago when we were, was it Easter? Yeah, we went out, but on the way back we stopped at the Mile Castle for supper. Scott was very proud to come and show us his Coits
pitch.
The Coits pitch.
Yes.
Been well looked after in the last few months, getting ready for the season. I've been led to believe.
That's quite a niche game, though.
Is that very local to that area?
Yeah, I think so.
It seems that way.
Very
It's
niche.
quite the competition, from what I've been told.
Yeah,
Very serious.
But a lot of people, I think, outside of about a 30-mile radius would be like, I have no
What are
idea
you
what you're on
talking
about.
Yeah, when I arrived, I didn't realise the competitiveness of it. I thought it was more a social game, but I've been led to believe that it's very competitive.
So yeah, so you're going to get involved in curling and Coits
Curling and kites.
and
Nice.
rugby. Excellent.
Yes, that's right.
You've got a
I'm-
busy few
I'm
months
going
ahead.
to be very busy. I need something to keep myself fit, so that'll be good.
And we'll have to get you. I want to get you selling, doing a couple of sales, Jack. As
That'd
well.
be great.
I want to hear your bid calling skills as well at some point. So
Yeah, it'll be good. It will be nice to get in the box eventually.
Yeah.
I'm not overly disappointed by any means. I didn't expect to come over here and sell week one. It's nice to get to know the buyers and get to know the stock first. I think that's integral.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you are. Like if you don't know your buyers and you don't know your stock, well, you're not an auctioneer. So, but within the next few months, it would be
That
great
would
to
be great. I
have
think-
a
I
yell
think
from
it would
time
be
to
good.
time.
Yeah.
So
Nice. Have you been to Australia before?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
many a time.
Yeah, I used to work at Dairy Week.
Yep.
Show the cattle down there for the breeders. I really enjoyed it. I've had a couple of fun trips. The last time I was on my way back, I actually flew with the Williams sisters.
Oh, there you go.
What, Venus and Serena?
Yeah.
All right. We sat next to them.
Yeah. I used to sneak into
class.
first class.
You used to sneak into first class.
So I used to wait. I didn't want to use my frequent travel points up. So I used to wait until everybody was in the plane, and then if there was a seat, I used to plop down in first class. And sometimes I get kicked out. Sometimes I got away with it.
That's why you never rush onto the plane first.
No.
You always wait until the end.
So
Yeah.
so I was just about to do it. They were about to call, and then this entourage of people came along, and I didn't. Oh, and it was that they actually played. It was the first time they'd played the final together.
Yeah, right. Must admit, is this in January
Yeah,
February at the
yeah,
Australian Open?
January.
Yeah.
Okay. So they'd played the final on the Saturday, and they're traveling home on the Sunday.
Yeah.
And they came along, and I was, that's them tennis people.
Tennis people.
So I just followed them. Two of the
down,
biggest
and
and
tennisers in the
they were
world.
signing the high vis jackets, of the people, and
Ah.
yeah. So I got to the end of the line, and somebody handed me the marker. So I was.
Did you sign?
You did not.
I signed. I just went down the
God.
line and I signed Glenn Lucas on the high-vis jackets of these guys working in the airport, and then I was just ushered into first class with the entourage of people and got a seat.
That's all it takes. Just become part of the entourage and
I thought it was
hope for the
hilarious.
best.
You're unbelievable, honestly.
Hilarious.
Unbelievable.
So that, I think, when would that have been? You'll have to look up when that was, in the 90s or early 2000s, I think.
So it's been a while.
It's been a while, but that's my last time I was there. It was good fun.
Have you, Laura?
I've never been to Australia,
Never
no.
been?
No, it's not. I would like to go, I guess, but it's never really come around as an opportunity. I know like quite a few Australians. I've got a few friends out there that work
Kylie
in
Minogue.
Kylie Minogue, yeah, me and Kylie. No, that work in Woolworths. Woolworths
yes.
is a thing over there, isn't
Yeah.
it? Mm-hmm.
One of the major supermarkets.
Yeah. But no, never been to Australia.
It's a distance thing, really. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people never cross the two countries because it's just so far.
It's a fair way.
You don't come here or go there for a week.
No.
Like it takes you 2 or 3 days to get there and then get over your travel.
Yeah, my brother
So-
went last year for 3.5 weeks, I think. Was it 3.5 weeks?
That's starting to nudge enough time,
Yeah.
really.
And make the most of it as well.
Yeah.
Time you acclimatise and jet lag and all that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
and get to have a look around you. There's a lot of travelling to be done. Takes a fair bit of driving.
Quite an extensive country, I guess. Like
Yeah,
more
certainly.
extensive than here.
Yeah.
Far more extensive.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's massive.
We never mentioned the spiders or the snakes.
The deadly spiders.
How do you deal with that?
It's just day-to-day life.
Yeah.
If you see a snake coming out of a hay bale, just hope that it doesn't crawl up the steps of the open cab tractor.
So that was the one thing working at the shows. So everyone ran around in bare feet.
Yeah.
At the show. It was January, it was 40 degrees.
It's too hot for shoes.
But when they went to feed hay, they put on
Shoes.
like gloves you would like fire gloves, or that was in case the snakes were in the hay, so they wouldn't.
I've seen a fair few big snakes in big bales of old wheat and hay that the mice have got into, and you stick the forks in it with the tractor and lift it up and you go, oh, there's a little 6 foot brown. Just be careful here.
6 foot brown.
6 foot brown.
I won't be getting off the tractor here, I don't think.
Oh man, that's the one thing I didn't. Yeah, I was always just watching out for.
Oh no.
Tap the spiders out of your boots if you leave them sitting there for a weekend and you're right.
Do you have any other wildlife problems?
Not particularly. Lots of kangaroos.
Kangaroos.
That's what I was telling the other lads we went kangaroo shooting one time, but you're not meant to do that, are you?
Well, I don't know what the laws and regulations are around it now. There was some tags for a little while.
So I better not mention that.
We
Then.
better not go too far.
But we never got any. They're really hard to get.
Yeah, there's
Really hard to get.
There's not many around.
Yeah, kangaroo steaks. They don't serve kangaroo steaks, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, I think there is a few kangaroo farms where you'll find a bit of kangaroo meat. It's really lean.
Is it?
Yeah.
Imagine being a kangaroo farmer.
It's
ostrich.
it's really really red meat, but really lean. There's not a lot of fat in it.
You'd be hopping mad.
Do you have wagyus in Australia?
A few. I wouldn't say they're the most popular breed, but there is a few around.
There's a few there too.
Yep, a few people. We did have a client who AI'd a few Angus cows to Wagyus. I think they're only heifers, though, just for ease of carving more than anything, but probably not the easiest product to market.
Yeah. No. Confirmation is fairly poor.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Good.
Great. Well, I've enjoyed getting to know you a bit, Jack.
No, it's been good. Thank you. Thanks for having me on, and I look forward to doing this again. You'll have
At
me.
the end of the year. No, I'd really like to, at the end of this whole journey, it'd be nice to
Have a recap.
Have you picked up any lingo, Cumbria dialogue?
All right. That's the way of saying hello. I get a few people rattled when I say g'day to them when they turn up at the sale and
G'day, mate.
sort of just look at me and like, oh, hang on a minute, I need to remember where I am. So
But you've not learnt any more language, those boys in that sales office,
not
have they?
particularly. A little bit, but I'm still getting my head around it. I sort of hear a few things. I'm like, okay, now I know. I'm starting to realise what that is, which is good. It's all happening very fast. So sink or swim.
It takes a while. I took a while to, yeah. There's some strange, but then I don't think they're strange anymore, but when I first moved.
Strange dialects to start.
Yeah.
It's very different. You don't have to go too far and things are a little bit different. So just slightly different things and slightly different accent.
What's your main observation, just as British culture?
The pubs.
The pubs.
The pub culture over here is unbelievable. It's great. Back home, you've got to bend over backwards to try and get someone to come to the pub on a Friday afternoon with you. But here it's like, righto, let's all go, which I quite like. I don't know whether it's just because the little bit of sunshine you get, you really soak it in.
I think it's been, since you've been here, the weather's been good. Like
I can't complain.
Like even after the sale last week.
Yeah, I've been very
We don't
spoiled.
often get that chance
No.
just to sit outside,
to sit out and
some
have a
pints.
pint,
Yeah,
which was really nice.
it was cool, wasn't it?
I'll soak up the sunshine while it's here.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Hopefully it stays around.
Indeed. Thank you very much for coming on the podcast, and we will catch up with you again in maybe December time.
Yeah, something like that when we get to the end of it.
We'll see if you haven't been sacked by then.
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully I'm still here. Not too many losses forms to fill in.
No, thanks, Jack, and all the best for the rest of the year.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you,
Thanks.
Laura. It's
Thank
been
you.
a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So we'd just like to thank our sponsors, Finance for Farms, Herds Media, and H&H Insurance Brokers. Thank you to Herds Media for the nice surprise today on the one and only's 3rd birthday. Thank you to Jack Harper for being our guest this month. Laura, that was great catching up with Jack, wasn't it?
That was pretty cool, yeah. I'm loving that we're getting the international guests now.
Yeah.
Travelled all the way over here because you wanted to be on the one and only podcast. It's really quite special, isn't it?
But when we were talking to Jack, I thought, what a great opportunity to maybe send some of our young guys to the Grey operation over in
Yeah, they can take on one
New
of
South Wales, and
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
I think that would be awesome if we could reciprocate that, huh?
Ship one out for 9 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was interesting listening to all of his observations already that he's made over the last couple of months, and nice to hear that he's getting some familiarity. I can barely say that word. Around the operation now, getting to know people. People are getting to know him. He's getting to know the stock values and the multiple breeds that we have here.
Yeah, that has to be the biggest difference in what we do and what they do. I think that comes with all the challenges that we don't really see, and the inefficiencies that all causes with the different carcasses and the weights. But that'll never change, and I think we should be really proud of what we do here, and all that diversity within the sheep business here is what makes the UK sheep market so special.
Absolutely. What is on the rest of the month?
Well, the rest of the month, we mentioned briefly our Auckland Salas sale, which is taking place on the 17th of May. We've got Ayr Show this weekend. We've got Balmoral Show the following weekend. It's show season.
It is show season. Then Northumberland Show.
Northumberland Show, and before you know it, it will be the amazing Royal Highland Show. And in amongst that all, we've got an enormous amount of sale.
You've got some cool dairy sales coming up because
Really cool
once you get
sales.
past this weekend with the dairy with the bull sales, then it's all systems go for some cool dairy sales before we
we've
get
got-
into pedigree rams.
And the dispersal of the Highmark Ayrshire sale as well, and there's the Logan sale, and with the Panda sale down in Devon. So yeah, we're busy. I just organised a really special sale take place in Ireland in July as well this week. So it's going to be a full...
Jack might get another trip to Ireland.
I'll have to take him down to the south. Yeah.
To the south.
It's down in Limerick.
Oh, lovely. Another country to tick off the list.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, that's another one in the what's the
in
link?
the books.
Is that what we say? Is that
No,
not what that's
but
what salesmen say?
That's what salesmen say.
I don't know what professional podcasters say because we're not professionals.
No.
Anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Please like, share, subscribe to the show. It's amazing, as I said previously, it's amazing that people listen to this podcast.
And don't forget to follow Jack's monthly blog.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
Yeah.
that. It's G'day to the UK. That's what it's called.
G'day to the UK. Yeah. Follow Jack's journey, his monthly blog on our website and social media outlets.
Absolutely. You have been the one and only Glyn Lucas.
I have. And you have been the one and only Laura Miller.
Thank you very much for listening, guys.
Thank you.